Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer was part of a large contingent of journalists on a visit to iron ore producer Kumba Iron Ore's new Sishen South project. He joins us in studio today to unpack the story. Welcome to Second Take, Martin.
Thanks, Bryn.
Could you tell us more about the Sishen South project and its future role in the local iron ore market?
Yeah, Sishen South, it's been long awaited. We've got that great jewel of the Northern Cape, Sishen. It's a very high quality, hard, lumpy ore, and the market loves it. Sishen South, we've awaited that after the Sishen expansion project. It's not going to be the dripping roast that Sishen was, but it's still important to turn this to account because of the demand for iron ore. And I think one person we can thank for going ahead flat out with this is Chris Griffiths, the CEO of Kumba Iron Ore. Because at a time when everybody is cutting back on expenditure and saying we're cancelling projects, he said, no, we're going to go ahead with Sishen South. But not only go ahead, but we're going to go ahead flat out. And he is right, because you can see that it looks like this tightness of the market that will appear in 2012 when this iron ore project, Sishen South, begins producing. But of course, it's changed its name since then. And yesterday we were told it's now called Kolomela, which means perseverance, which again tells the tale that they had to persevere with this. And I think probably South Africa should have had it a long time ago.
Martin, one issue with such expansions, particularly in the Northern Cape, is rail capacity. How is the project built around this?
Well, Chris Griffith, the CEO of Kumba Iron Ore, was questioned yesterday by a team of journalists as bigger than I've ever seen. And they said to him, look, you've always had trouble with this rail. How's it going? And he said, look, quite frankly, in 2008, rail was inadequate. In 2009, rail has been very good. There's a lot of cooperation. We've even been talking possible public-private partnerships. But then a cheeky journalist said, look at BHP Billiton. It does the railing on its own, and it does it much better and more efficiently. Would you do it better on your own or with Transnet? And he said, well, I have to concede. I believe that we would really, if we're the owners of the rail, we would do it very well and probably at optimum levels. But of course, there's also the port to contend with. And, to build your own port's another story. And that Sishen, he says, is operating very well as the other ports that he has to deal with around the world, like the ports in China. But you can see the attitude in China to the iron ore from South Africa. This is hard iron ore, it's lumpy iron ore, and it's coming through as number 4 in the market. And the Chinese love choice. And so when they said to the Chinese, we haven't got enough stockpiling area at your port in China, the Chinese got into a huddle and they came back and said, no, we'll give you extra space in our port. You can stockpile your iron ore there. They said, well, we can't see any space. What are you going to do? Where are we going to get it? So don't worry, we'll just bulldoze down our own buildings, our own offices, and give you space. So it indicates the sort of Chinese attitude to South African relations and South African iron ore.
Martin, this project is positive for South Africa's iron ore market, but could you also give us an overview of the local and international iron ore markets?
The international iron ore markets, there's been a hiatus. They still haven't got a benchmark price. We used to have the system of benchmark pricing. You'd have people getting into a huddle early in the year, and by April, we'd have a price, and that would be the benchmark. And when I say the benchmark, that would be the price against which everybody else measured their prices. We have now come into Christmas. There's no benchmark price. So this was a year with a difference as far as pricing is concerned. And it was a hiatus year in which there's no official benchmark, yet people are selling at provisional prices. They're invoicing at provisional prices, and nobody's complaining about paying the bills. But within this great hiatus has been a lot of political problems because the Chinese were intent on bringing the iron ore price down. And you can't blame them. I mean, the iron ore price rocketed by indecent percentages, massive percentage increase. And the Chinese were the main bearers of this massive price increase. So, the Chinese Iron and Steel Association said, no, well, we're going to make sure that we put the brakes on these prices. And they were trying to control them. And then there was a situation where they believed there was industrial espionage. And they actually arrested an official of Rio Tinto who's still in jail at the moment in China on this price issue. That's how hot the pricing issue was at the moment. But I think they made it clear yesterday that they're not looking for these massive percentages of the past, and they're expecting the price increase on the basis of current prices of about FOB that's free on board of about $70 per tonne and $100 per tonne landed, they don't think there's going to be a price increase above about 10% in 2010.
Thank you for your time, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Bryn.
That's the show for today. Join us again next time as we take an in-depth look at the mining world's premier projects, industries, and business personalities.